room full here at Velma Jackson, and we're recording this for our friends at Madison Central High School, old Ridgeland High School, and Germantown High School as well, for all of our seniors in Madison County Schools. Let them know about all the great things that the Navy has as far as both enlisted and officer opportunities, and all the career paths and entry paths that you guys offer. And we do have some questions we'll have at the end, but I'll let you guys start and tell us all about all the.
I'll let her go first. Before we put our masks on, we'll go ahead and do our introduction because it's kind of hard to hear us.
Okay.
But I'll let Petty Officer Ferguson go first.
Hi, or Petty Officer Sharp. I got married. It's all good. So I've been in the Navy for 9 years. I'm what they call a machinist mate. I am a mechanic for the ships. I do the AC systems or HVAC systems, the water systems to make sure that we're able to, do our daily with water. Anywhere from the hydraulic systems to the steam systems, making oxygen and nitrogen. So with our jobs, we can have one job, but it does many different things. So
I'm Petty Officer April Washington. I've been in the Navy for about 15 years. I'm actually on the Navy Reserve side. So when I joined the Navy, I joined part-time military. My job is similar to Petty Officer Sharp's job. However, my job is on land. So the Navy does have both land and sea jobs. I've never been on a ship in my 15 years. I know that's kind of funny that you have somebody in the Navy, but they've never been on a ship.
Wow.
So that is me. My job in the Navy is utilities. So I learned how to work on heating and ventilation systems, and I do small plumbing systems as well. I have had 3 tours. I've deployed 3 times to Afghanistan twice, and I've been to Djibouti, Africa once. 2 of my tours were voluntary. So you do have an opportunity to volunteer at a point in your career. And now I'm actually active duty serving as a recruiter for the area for a period of 3 years. So there's a lot of flexibility when you're dealing with the Navy Reserves. So I can give you that perspective, and Petty Officer Sharp can give you the active duty side of things.
Cool. Because I know that both options offer some great benefits.
Oh yes, definitely.
And like I told Petty Officer Washington, we did watch yesterday. We watched quite a few videos that the Navy has put out about as far as on the ship, a lot of things have to be taken care of. You had to have medical staff. You have the welders, the engineers, the cooks, the people that take care of the drinking water. The IT people is a huge part of it, especially with navigation. So I think one thing that we're trying to get our young people to see is that the military is not just kick down doors and blow stuff up. Even though if they want to do that, there's obviously a job for them. But all the jobs that the Navy would offer would also be available in the civilian world. So it can be a possible way to train for a career without ever going to college.
Definitely. I know IT fields and stuff. I have a friend who just used his Navy career. He's done 6 years in the Navy. He's about to get out and actually work for the FBI.
Wow.
And that's just him being in the IT field. I also have a friend who's a hospital corpsman, a medic, and she's about to work for the FBI. So, 2 different categories of work, and, they're about to work for the FBI. It's pretty neat how far our security clearances can go to just our jobs.
Yeah, definitely. Being in the Navy, I was given the opportunity to actually go back to college. I did initially go to college straight out of high school. I wanted to see what it was like. So I had the opportunity to see what it was like, but I needed that break from school. So the Navy was that option for me. And sometimes college isn't for everybody. Some people may want to break from school after so many years. So the Navy offered me that alternative and say, hey, at a later time, if you want to go back, now it could be fully paid for.
Wow.
So that was another benefit that I had. Going in initially, I had no scholarships. I strictly went on financial aid to college. So I created that debt for myself. But when I did join the Navy, I did, after, joining the Navy, I was awarded a GI Bill, which is full college tuition paid for. So going back, when I decided to go back to college to finish, it was the Navy paid for that education.
Yeah,
so I just want, them to understand that, sometimes you can't go, but just make sure you have, some type of plan in order to pay for college. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck paying back those loans, later on, like I did.
Yeah, and that would be with any career path, because I also share with Petty Officer Washington. My uncle is a Navy vet of over 30 years. He was a naval doctor and went to med school paid for by the Navy. So he did go to the Naval Academy and with a submarine tech, but then after a few years, he was able to do that and become a doctor 100% paid for by the Navy. So it is, really, pretty much any career area somebody want to go into, the Navy can't provide that for them.
Exactly. And you know how expensive it can be in the medical field trying to go pay for college for that. So I mean, you can use it to whatever benefit that benefits you in your situation. Everyone joins for their own purpose. So I mean, her reason for joining is going to be different than my reason for joining. But the opportunity that it gave me and the benefits that I was awarded allowed me to stay as long as I had. Not too many, jobs out there where you can retire in 20 years.
Wow.
20 years of qualifying service. Most of us, if we go out of high school, can retire by the age of 40. So, I mean, that's at 40, being able to stop working and travel, that's awesome.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Now, one thing we saw, and again, I think the Navy did a great job of their recruiting videos, where it shows, if somebody really wants to, to get out and get away and see the world, I think the Navy might offer a better opportunity than that than any other branch. And I think a lot of people from small towns, that could be a draw for them if you wanted to travel. And also, I think it did a great job of showing the diversity of the Navy, because it's not just a bunch of muscle-bound white guys. You got people of all colors, all genders, and I really think the diversity that's shown is really true within the branch.
Oh yes, and like saying, coming from a small town, I've come from a really small town. So did Petty Officer Washington. I graduated with 14 people in my class, and out of those 14, I think 3 of us joined 3 different branches, and I've seen 11 different countries out of my time in the Navy.
That's incredible.
So anywhere from like the Mediterranean Sea to China, South China Sea, like Asian countries, to Israel, Turkey, Greece, Spain, all of those. And like, part of me joining the Navy was for the travel, and not just, and we're not just seeing those port visits for like 1 or 2 days. Sometimes it's 4 days to a week, depending on, what we're doing there, and like you said, the diversity, we have anywhere from people joining, from different countries like the Philippines, or, everywhere we have like an ambassador somewhere, embassy, we have people joining.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you will get to serve with all types of people from different races, religion. The Navy is not discriminatory. They've come to, like, now in this day and age, we open so many new programs, and we even have celebrations for the different things that's going on as well. So the Navy is very much open to diversity and the new day and age of things, how it's going. It's not traditional by no means.
Yeah. And Carl Brashear is a huge hero of mine, and I know he's a legend in the Navy. And I know for anybody watching later, the movie Men of Honor really displays how far the Navy has come as far as diversity. But our juniors and seniors are taking the ASVAB next week. So if they're looking to go to the military right out of high school, what are some of the steps they would need to take, and what type of jobs would be good for somebody coming out of high school, and what are the requirements?
So the first step is actually taking the ASVAB, and passing it. I mean, everybody takes it for their own reason, but them taking it, some people take it to get out of class, or somebody takes it just, to gain the military purpose. But I think taking the ASVAB, everybody needs to take it seriously, because even they're not going to the military. Some colleges now are taking the ASVAB instead of the ACT or SATs. So that can, you know, help them out. And I came into the Navy right out of high school, you know, and I think all of our jobs can go to anybody, you know. So it's really, you know, a career path that you choose, because you do get to pick the jobs that you know, that are up for you, that you can get. And everything is open, because in the Navy, you don't have to know your job when you pick it. You know, we have to go to boot camp, and then we go to the school of our job choice, and that's where they teach us. And then once you're out in the fleet or in reserves, you know, you get to learn your job as you go. So on top of school training for your job, you have on-the-job training. So it helps a lot, on top of you're getting different qualifications that you would never get outside of the Navy.
That's incredible.
And it can help you out so much, from our boot camp to the school of your choice of job to the qualifications. Everything counts as a college credit too. So that helps out a lot. I went and put in to get accepted from Oregon State University, and within 24 hours, I was accepted. And I've never taken the SAT. I've never taken the ACT. I didn't take any kind of test to get in. They seen all my college hours from, you know, the Navy, and, you know, I came in as a sophomore undergraduate.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
so and it took out all of the like little classes that I would have had to pay for, or the Navy would have had to pay for, but it took all those out for me, and I had to start right on my curricular, you know, for it. So.
And the training you got, you were paid while you did it. You didn't pay to do it; they paid you.
Yes, they paid me.
And normally, so did you talk about the ASVAB score?
Oh no.
So the scores that is required is for the Navy, it's a 31 or above. And like she said, depending on how you score on the ASVAB is going to determine what job opportunities the Navy will offer you. Each of those ASVAB tests have different parts. There's 10 different parts. So you're going to see mechanical, paragraph comprehension, you're going to see arithmetic reasoning, things like that. So a lot of our jobs are tailored to those different categories. So how well you do in those categories is going to let the Navy know where you will be placed at well. So that's how they determine. So anything 31 or above will get you in, but the higher you score, the more opportunities you're going to have, the more job options you're going to have. So I would say, even if you're not going to go to the military, to, you know, take it serious, because even on the outside, it helps with, you know, you getting hired on in the civilian world as well. It helps your boss know that, hey, you know, they have a little bit more training. They've looked at these different types of, you know, mechanics and things like that. So it can help you on that as well, and the ACT test and things like that. So even if you're not considering military, I still would suggest that you take the test. If you do score.
I have said the same thing. I'm a huge proponent, and they're going to have the opportunity next week to take it.
Okay. And if whatever you score, that score is good for 2 years if it's a qualifying score.
Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. Now, and we talked about the if they wanted to go out of high school. Now let's talk about the officer path. If somebody wanted to become an officer in the Navy, what would be the path for that?
So there's a whole bunch of different choices on how to become an officer. We have enlisted to officer programs. We have more of those than straight officer programs. One of my favorite programs to tell everybody is called Semen to Admiral program, or State 21. So you can come in as an E1 and get picked up with this program, and they'll take you out of the Navy, put you in your career path of whatever job choice of the officer you pick. You'll get your degree and then come back as an officer.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we have some that we just have an officer program that if you do have a degree and you couldn't get picked up as an officer because of your degree before you got in, you know, while you're enlisted, you can put in a package to get that degree. and you will get picked up pretty easily because you do still have that degree. And
in ROTC program, we have a Navy ROTC where you can go to one of our 83 colleges that offer this program. You will actually be a full-time student. You get a degree. Once you get that degree, you're commissioned as an officer in the Navy. In turn, you will give us a commitment of 5 to 8 years. So you'll be a full-time student during the week. You'll be doing your ROTC leadership courses and things like that on the weekends. So that'll allow you to at least be, you know, have that effect of, hey, I'm going straight into college, but at least once I get out, I'll be getting paid the big bucks. I'll be in a leadership role, you know, overseeing the enlisted personnel like ourselves.
Now, and this is just me. I'm not sure what area universities in Mississippi have the Navy ROTC program.
I'm not exactly sure. I do know. I mean, there's a website that I can give to you, which is nrotc.com, and it will list all of the universities that's associated with our programs.
Okay, cool.
And I think the last one to become an officer is, so a lot of people go into college at first, right? And then their college degree, you know, they couldn't get that job at first. So then they think about military, the officer way. But that one is really competitive. You have to have at least a 3.4 GPA. And it depends on what kind of officer you want to be, like a general officer, medical officer, things like that. Also depends on the degree you have. But with that, it's not just you come in as enlisted, ASVAB, go to MEPS, be able to get in. No, it's you have to take a test to be an officer, then go to MEPS. And then it's a waiting game because it's kind of like a scholarship where a whole bunch of people are doing it and you have to get picked up. So you have to be the best of the best for that one. So I think it's more easier if you come in enlisted side, then go officer, because there's so many more ways to do that.
Yeah, and obviously I'm speaking from a civilian point of view, but to me, it would seem like somebody that was an officer that used to be an enlisted would have a much better frame of reference of what they were of what the area they were commanding, if I'm not mistaken. To me,
100%, yeah, because it's like they know what enlisted go through. And actually, you know, like if somebody was to be like my officer and they had already done my job, they know the equipment better, you know, and they've done this. So it's not, I'm trying to teach some new officer what I'm actually doing. My officer will know what I'm doing and actually probably help me a little bit more because they have a different side of things than I do.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that was exactly what I was thinking. Now, before I get to some of the students' questions, I do want to ask for any young people that's considering joining the Navy, what type of skills are you guys most seeking to join the Navy here in the next year or so?
None. You don't have to have any skills. You know, and that's again what I said is like boot camp, you know, kind of boot camps to, you know, build you into that sailor. And then your A school is to teach you all the skills, and then you get the rest of your skills out in the fleet. Wow. So you have to have zero skills.
As far as the skills is concerned, but as far as like the requirements, age group is anywhere between 17 to 39 years of age. We do have physical requirements on body standards and things like that. However, the Navy is like one of the most lenient when it comes to those types of standards because we offer alternate options. I do know, like with dealing with the Air Force or different branches, if you're not at the weight requirement, they want you to come back when you are.
That's true.
The Navy will allow you to do a body fat percentage. Females, if they're 36% body fat, they can still get in. For males, if they're 26%, they can still get in. If that doesn't work out, we will also take the circumference of your waist. Yeah. We'll take the circumference of your waist, and a male can be up to 39 inches in the waist and still get in. And a female can be 35.5 inches in the waist and still qualified.
Wow.
And as long as you're, you know, mentally, morally, and physically qualified, we can put you in the Navy.
Yeah, and just from what you've been saying and from what I've seen, it seems like, and even though you don't have to be a superior physical specimen, but for people that have that, that competitive and teamwork background, and they maybe play high school sports, maybe didn't want to go to college, the Navy, for what I've heard and seen, seems like it could be a great fit for somebody like that has that background to learn something and work as a team.
Oh yes, and then like you said, the ones who want to work out or like football, things like that, they can also try out to be special warfare, like our SWICs, our SEALs, our EOD, air and rescue. So, and then, with that, like, so they can also train to try to be one of those as well. So it just doesn't stop at, them after high school. It can go on, or they can even be like our physical trainers, for a PT, to help us, because there is some people that, need to work out a little bit, and so they help us to be able to pass our physical readiness test.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, it really is countless the amount of careers you can find in the Navy. But I do have some questions I want to get to, and these are all seniors. So all these, are making decisions very soon. This first one is Christian Sanders, and he asked, if you wanted to go into engineering in the Navy, aside from fixing the ships, what all would you do?
So engineering and in the ship is my specialty. Because when we have my jobs, we don't just fix the ship. We do a lot of preventative maintenance, so we don't have to fix the ship. So we have anywhere from hull technicians who do our welding, pipe fitting, plumbing, things like that, to our machinery repairmen who can actually, if I, mess up a bolt, I can go in there and take it, and they can make a whole new one for me, or just things like that. On top of, we have gas turbine mechanics, gas turbine electricians, we have regular electricians, and then we have diesel mechanics, which is like my sister job. They're called enginemen. So we have a lot to do, like as in engineering. And you can also take it out of the Navy and still use all of our 3M and all of our qualifications, like quality inspector, things like that we can do. And then on top of that's just regular like engineering, but we have nuclear engineering too.
Wow.
So with my job, I also have another sister job of a nuclear machinist mate, and there's nuclear electricians and things like that. So, there's a lot of different engineering jobs in the Navy. And then on top of, there's engineering jobs with the construction side of the Navy.
Yeah, that's really cool. This is Jakaja Anderson, who actually turned 18 today, so she's pretty excited.
Happy birthday.
And she asked, why did you choose the Navy over the other branches?
I chose the Navy for the travel. That was my biggest one, was the travel. And my Navy recruiter just kind of like told me about like what he did with his life, and what he worked on. And that just enticed me even more. And I was just like, that's what I want to do with my Navy career. And I've done about 95% of what he did in his Navy career. My next step is to get that 100% in working with the LCACs of the Navy. So I'm on my way of,
And I would say my reason for joining the Navy is because I just felt like the Navy was more personable with me than the other branches. I felt like the other branches kind of saw me as a number and not tried to see what was best for me. I had a really good recruiter who walked me through everything and, just gave me the benefits and I came from a small town as well. So I graduated with 25.
Wow.
So big thing for me was, okay, I want to get out of this small town, and I want to see the world. And the Navy offered me to, allow me to do that. So that was my biggest reason, because normally when I saw Army or these other branches, I always saw them in combat situations. I never saw, beautiful places, and I never heard about things like that. So with the Navy, it gave me a sense of excitement to see the world and those types of things.
That's awesome. This is Jalea Jackson, and she's very interested in the computers and technical side. And she asked, what are the emotions like when you go through the whole sign-up process?
Like the emotional side?
Yes.
I mean, you're nervous, you know, and then you kind of like, it calms down and then it's back up again, you know, and then you finally realize like, hey, I've signed up. This is going to be my job. And then, you know, and then all of a sudden you're at boot camp and you're getting ready to go into boot camp, and then your nerves are right back up. And then it's, you know, you're there at boot camp and it's like, this is what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for my life. And then you go into your A school, you know, your job, and it's just like, I'm really here. I'm really doing this. And then it's either, you know, you're coming back home because you're a reservist and you're like, hey, this is what I did. Or like me, I went straight out into the fleet and I went to Greece and I was like, whoa, like I'm in Greece.
Wow.
I'm from a small town in Texas and now I'm in Greece. Like, how does that happen?
Wow. And I would love to go to Greece. I'm jealous.
Yeah. So, and then it was like, I spent my first Christmas away from home, but I spent it in Israel.
Oh, wow.
So
Of all places to be.
out of all the places to be, I spent in Israel, and then I got to go to Jerusalem and do all of that in my first, like within my first months of just being in the Navy.
That's incredible.
So it's like, you don't know what's going to happen with your career, you know, or where you're going to be at, but it's just so great. And I lived in Japan for 3 years.
Oh,
So it's,
man, you're making me jealous just talking about it. This is Terrence Mack, and he actually just had to leave. This is a great question. He asked, what determines whether you are based on a ship or on the shore?
The type of job.
one is type of jobs, and sometimes it's, you know, what is needed, like kind of with the Navy at first, right? But once you're like after boot camp, you kind of get just placed wherever. But after your first command, you get to pick where you're going. So, you know, if you go to shore first, then you kind of got to go to sea tour and do sea tour, and then back to shore. So you go back from sea to shore rotations, you know, so you're not just always on a ship unless you actually really always want to be on a ship. Then you can just get those orders over and over again. But at some point, the Navy is going to go, you need to go to shore duty. So,
but initially, there is like I said, there's a land side of things. So the construction side of the Navy, which is what I'm a part of, it's called the CB community, which is construction battalion. If you join a construction job, you're going to be somewhere on land. We really only have a few sites, and that's in California and Mississippi, in Gulfport, Mississippi.
Yep.
So if you're going to pick one of those jobs like construction electrician or construction mechanic, welder, steel worker, you have those on the land that you'll never see a ship. Like I said, 15 years, I've never seen a ship. So, I mean, so your job selection could actually have, you know, be a reason why you won't be on there.
And like you, and that's funny you mentioned Gulfport, because I know the Ingalls Shipbuilding Yard in Pascagoula is right down the road, and they're hiring naval people, the people out of the Navy, right out of the Navy, and paying them, you know,
yes,
almost 6 digits without ever going to college, just because they got the naval experience in Gulfport right down the street. So, and that's one of the largest employers in the Southeast, right there in the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and they're always looking for Navy vets that have that experience.
Mm-hmm.
yep. And any kind of Navy contracting, because even at our bases, you know, after a deployment or so, you know, that takes out a lot on the ship, you know, so our ship needs to be, you know, looked at, make sure it's really good, go back through. So a lot of our contractors are Navy vets too, that come in and look at our stuff, make sure that's just working right. So it's just, there's a lot of job opportunities outside of the Navy once you're done, you know, and not everybody's, you know, career is the same. So somebody could do just 4 years, or just do one contract, which is 4, 5, or 6 years, and then get out. Or they could do 2 or 3 contracts and get out. You know, not always is retiring everybody's, you know, kind of thing, but it's there if you want to do it. But also getting out and being able to transition into a really good job outside is also there too.
Absolutely.
And getting out is not, where the Navy's not just going to throw you outside into the civilian world. You have to take a week-long course and, you know, do so many things to learn how to transition. So it's not, you know, it's great.
All right, this is Layla Middleton, and she's very interested in nursing. So any you know, I know there's a big medical need in the Navy, but and this is a great question as well. I can't believe we haven't talked about this, but obviously other than the travel and you never have to pay for your own meals, what are some of the benefits as far as being, as far as employment benefits of the Navy?
I mean, it's a paycheck. It's an easy paycheck, right now we're just we're telling people about the Navy, and that's pretty, it's easy to do, and I love it. And it's just, that's an easy paycheck. Or if we're out on deployments, I'm doing my job, and afterwards I have so much free time. Even out on deployments on the ship, we have free time to ourselves. So it's like, you do your job and get off. And
and you also have, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you also have like, I've had the option to work on the civilian side as a reservist. So I worked for a company for 12 years. And so I had to build up my vacation time. With the Navy, you automatically get 30 days of paid vacation. Wow. If you come in the Navy active duty. Wow. With the Navy, if you're deployed or you're on a special assignment like we are as recruiters, we receive no commission off of getting people in the Navy. However, this is a special, stressful job the Navy deems, so we get special duty pay. Wow. We get these incentives. We also receive housing allowance. So as long as you have a dependent or you're a certain pay grade, the Navy will pay you an extra allowance based on your zip code to live off of. Wow. So that's an addition. There's nowhere that I know, the last job that I've worked, I didn't get paid housing allowance to live off of, and then I had to work my way up for my vacation time. So those things are some great incentives. Not to mention, we have retirement plans as well with the Navy. They will match, actually. Yeah. Every year they match what we have in our retirement, or it's like a benefit 401k type of deal. Okay. So those things are just added benefits of the different jobs we have. And certain jobs even offer bonuses and re-enlistment bonuses to stay in. Like the nuclear engineering, some of their re-enlistment bonuses are up to $18,000 just wow. to stay in that job field. Wow, that's incredible. You're not going to find that in the civilian world. No.
My last re-enlistment, I got $19,000.
Wow.
And like she was talking about nuclear, coming in, it's $38,000 enlistment bonus to get in as a nuclear. And then they go through the pipeline, of their job, and middle of their pipeline, they're like, hey, do you want to re-enlist for a higher pay grade and a bonus? And those bonuses can go up to, $100,000, for nuclear, because it's a long school and it's, it's kind of tough work. So, they have these incentives for those reasons, and like, why not? It makes you want to re-enlist.
It seems like it. Now, if you guys don't mind, can you put your information in the chat box so we can make sure our young people can get a hold of you guys if they're interested in speaking with a recruiter? And I know we do have a recruiting office here in Jackson, but I'm not sure how you would want them to get in contact, to get with the recruiter, because several of us are going to see these at a later date.
Yeah. So what we can do is, and we're also going to email you our information and also a survey. If you guys could, the survey helps us to see what you guys like to hear about with the Navy, because I know we're kind of like all over the place, but we can tailor some of the presentations to some of the things that you want to hear about, or some of the things that you may be interested in, some of the jobs. So we can specifically talk about that. And we don't just talk about the Navy as well, because, being members of the Navy, we also learn about sexual assault, prevention. We talk about drug awareness, and things like that. So we don't just talk Navy, because the Navy teaches us a lot of different things to help us, get through our careers and deal with any type of trials or tribulations that we may face. They have outlets for us. So there is an opportunity for us to even come back and talk about those types of things as well.
Yeah, that's incredible. And we are on COVID restrictions as of now, but obviously we'd love to have somebody from the branch here on campus and or at all of our schools in Madison County here, because we got some great students that I think would be a great fit for a great branch. And like I said, I have family that are naval members, so I'm always very partial to the sailors. But we thank you guys so much for joining us. I know you guys got a lot going on and very busy. We appreciate you fitting us in our in your schedule. And we'll definitely be in touch. And we thank you. That was some great information and great stuff. And as always, Semper Fortis.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the opportunity.
All right, you're very welcome.
You guys, and looking forward to it again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.